feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and...
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, we are here, or I am here, to break this all down for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value of Wrestling. This is your AEW Dynamite review for December 20th, 2023. Flying this mission solo. Mr. Z is going to be in the chat. If you're here, go ahead and chime in, jump in the chat, jump in this discussion, jump into this conversation. We are going to get this party started. We're going to get it rolling la-de-da-de, like it's hot-a. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you know me. I'm the one, I'm the only, I'm the big time. And we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite. Mr. Clarke couldn't be with us tonight for reasons, and that is okay. He will not also be available for Friday night, so we will be doing SmackDown probably also as a solo show, a one-man band. We are going to break it down and talk all about it. AEW Dynamite wrapping up the Continental Classic tournament tonight, at least for the Gold League side, sort of. Next week, we go into a semifinal match. Why we ever got here in the first place? I thought you went through the tournament to win, to move on, to face the winner of the Blue League at AEW World's End, which we got promoted for. It got promoted tonight. They talked about it. They put it on the screen. They're telling everybody to watch it, get it on pay-per-view. So finally trying to put some effort behind it. But we got an interesting twist here. And so we're going to go into a semifinal match. Let's get into it. We started right off hot and heavy with Swerve Strickland coming out. All of Mogul Embassy out there. And Prince Nana lead him down the way. Swerve Strickland comes out. And then, of course, Roosh comes out with his faction. They're all out there doing their best impression of the Nation of Domination with their, hands held in the air. I guess we got to be here more. Yes. Anyway, Swerve and Roosh, they gave us a good match here. I mean, you can't complain about the in-ring work. It's good. It's what you expect from both these guys. Your average match, we get it back and forth eventually. Swerve to the corner, and crowd was hot for him in Oklahoma City tonight. Top rope, Swerve hits the double stomp. And 1, 2, 3. This match went 14 minutes, 52 seconds. It was a good match. Cold open. We didn't have a whole lot. We just got into action. And that's probably what AEW needs right now. And so we got a decent match between Swerve and Roosh, with Swerve coming out on top, giving Swerve 12 points, now tied with Moxley at this time. And so we will talk about how the night ended and what will happen next week with that. So interesting. We have to see how this all plays out, but Swerve gets a win. Not really surprising. It is what it is. Swerve looking halfway decent. Swerve had a little more attention tonight on him than he has had in a while. Anyway, we come back to see AEW. We see Chris Jericho holding a mic. He brings up Kenny Omega saying after their promo last week for setting up the tag team championship match, Omega had to go to the hospital and he's out indefinitely. We don't know how long or short it's going to be, but one thing that is altered is their opportunity to become champions. So I had to decide what they will do. The most important thing is Kenny's health. Chris Jericho getting the fans, everybody wanting to chant Kenny, and we hope Kenny recovers from diverticulitis. I know I don't pronounce that right. Whatever, don't care. I do my best. Jericho out here, he did all of Kenny's little catchphrases at the end to say goodbye. They didn't really give us anything about what is exactly happening for the tag team. They're basically, he's out until we figure out what we're going to do, and they're going to decide what they're going to do. And I don't know. You would think Jericho would come out and make a statement, or Tony Khan would come out and make a statement regarding what's going to happen with the tag team championship match coming up at World's End. Is Jericho going to get a mystery partner? Is he going to find somebody else to tag up with to take on Ricky Starks and Big Bill? Are we going to drop this whole angle? Is somebody else going to take them on? We didn't really get any filler on that. We just got Chris Jericho wishing Omega the best in his recovery, which we here at the Value Wrestling want to wish Kenny Omega the best in his recovery. We hope that he recovers quickly and is able to get back into the ring. Hopefully that he'll be able to overcome this. Diverticulitis is not something to play with. We know Brock Lesnar had it, put him out of action for over a year. So, we don't want this on Kenny. We hope Kenny recovers and is able to get back into work, into in-ring action. That'll be exciting to get him back. But what are they going to do for the tag team titles? They kind of dropped the ball here. We have 10 days before the pay-per-view, and we're not getting a whole lot. We got one more match tonight and one match off, maybe, but we really didn't get any direction forward, so that was a little bit of a disappointment there. Then we got the match that didn't matter, and I think this was stupid. I don't know why this wouldn't have been in week one, why you wouldn't have done Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal in week one. It would have given one of these guys some points, and then tonight they could have played, quote-unquote, the upset card. They could have, they could have been the person that stopped somebody from going on or whatever, and it would have been more interesting to see Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal have a match. A decent match, a solid match that you're going to get between Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal. I guess some people would probably say we got a little bit of Ring of Honor on AEW TV after all tonight. You had Lethal shoots from Mark into the rope, tries for a driller of his own. Mark holds on, swings, misses Lethal injection. No, Mark catches him, sits Jay on his shoulder, burning hammer. Jay driller, cover 1, 2, 3. Mark Briscoe gets 3 points. Mark Briscoe gets a win in this tournament. Jay Lethal is the biggest joke of the Gold League, and it was a good match between these two. I mean, I think if you're a Ring of Honor fan, you got to live a little nostalgia between these two having a match. After the match, they were both on their knees and they gave a handshake. It was what it was. What can you say? When two men have gone through a tournament and didn't have a win, you knew one of these men had to win. You assumed they were going to win. This could have been a match that went to a time limit draw. But in the end of the day, Mark Briscoe picks up a win. They should have done this at the beginning to give Mark Briscoe, that underdog Jay Lethal, a chance to maybe get a win to upset somebody. But no, this is how Tony Khan books. No logical thinking. We're just going to throw people together and then put a match here that really didn't have anything other than two guys going out and having a match. So a little disappointing here. It went 13 minutes, 50 seconds. A good match. If you're a Ring of Honor fan, you've watched Ring of Honor, you know Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, you know their history. And so, I mean, we got a little bit of Ring of Honor on TV tonight. I think that's the best you can get out of all that. From there, we got the announcement that MJF was inducted to the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. We get a whole video package that depicts it. We get to talk about it, and we get a little Jewish package here. I don't know. We got the national, we got MJF in a little video package. And then we turn around and got Wardlow talking about his hatred for MJF, blah, blah, blah. Don't really care. Wardlow's worthless. Wardlow needs to stay off my TV at this point because he doesn't do anything. And he didn't do anything this week. He just talked on camera, which was a complete waste of time to me. Wardlow didn't feel important. Wardlow didn't really give us anything. He ran his mouth like he's been running his mouth. Congratulations. Anyway, Samoa Joe is here. He introduces himself to OK City, and he's here to seek answer. Now he's pointing at MJF, maybe the devil. This brings out MJF, and MJF and Samoa Joe go back and forth. He calls MJF calls Joey Samoa, and we love that. Really interesting because he calls Joe, saying he's protected. Yes, we talk about how Joe was promising to protect MJF and kind of how it didn't win, and that they're going to have their match at the World's End. MJF takes his belt off and shoves it at Joe, joins with the scout, and then shoves MJF, and then we get a bunch of random masked men, not true devil men. We get about, I don't know, 6-7 men in ski mask, ski mask coming down the ring. They weren't even the devil mask. They came in the ring, and Joe and MJF quickly disposed of them. Why we had these guys come out, who knows? Then out of the crowd came the real 4 men that are part of the devil. They hop over the guardrail, and up on the apron, they're teasing about to go in the ring, and then the lights go out. We see the devil's head on the camera, and we get, where can you go? Who can you trust? Next week, will you accept the challenge for your Ring of Honor championships? And we get, are you a hero, Max? Again, I guess we're going to reference Adam Cole and all this. Adam Cole is the only person that's really called, well, outside of Samoa Joe, called him Max. So MJF gets on the mic after the devil disappears and lights come back on, and he apologizes to Joe, but Joe quickly takes the mic, takes hold of the mic, doesn't really take it away from MJF, and goes, you're on. And they're going to dare with the devil with their bare hands. Hopefully, we're going to get some conclusion on what the devil is. Some direction. Hopefully, this time we actually get a match. I didn't see MJF coming out with a cane, so maybe he's finally ready to get back in the ring. We can see MJF and Samoa Joe defend these titles and actually have a match. And that'll be something awesome to watch. Alrighty. Then we get into the Saraya versus Riho match, because we have to have Riho have a match or earn a title shot at Toni Storm, because, it's what we need to do. Anyways, before the match, Toni Storm came down with Luther. Her whole black and white, yay. Every time they showed her sitting there at commentary, she was in black and white. Stupid. I get it when you come down the ring and make your entrance, but to have it the whole time back and forth, color the black and white, it was ridiculous. This match was a complete waste of time. Saraya and Riho, it was a match. I don't know what's up with Saraya. She did a few things here. I don't know if Saraya is even in this match, knowing she's just taking a loss. Riho, she's okay. It just looked awkward. Yeah, I'm over the devil mess too. It just looked awkward. This whole match was kind of awkward, out of place. It was more about Toni Storm. They spent more time cutting from the ring action to Toni Storm in black and white. Then they went to a picture-in-picture. In the end, Riho steps on Saraya, hits the corner to top. Riho flies with the thump, does the cover, runs with double knees on Saraya and the cover. Riho gets the win. 1, 2, 3. This match was not perfect. It was not pretty. But it got where we needed to. We're getting Riho versus timeless Toni Storm at World's End. And Toni Storm comes down with some she was up at the announce booth, and they had to come down the ring because of the Dynamite. She comes down, or she's carried down by Luther. She pulls up some opera binoculars and is staring at Riho to get a full sight. I don't know. Riho takes offense to it. Sends Toni in the ropes. We hit a 619, but here's Mariah May now in Riho with the title. Toni looks not impressed and slides out of the ring. Luther carries her away. And we're getting Riho versus Toni Storm at World's End. Why? Who cares? Nobody does. Riho was important once the first AEW Women's Champion, but nothing now, and I just keep going back to the same conclusion. Toni doesn't know how to book anybody after they lose a title. Let me point it out. Riho, first AEW Women's Champion after she lost the title. Was she important? No. Thunder Rosa, after she lost the women's title, has she been important? Just finally coming back on TV and is going to get tagged up with Abaddon to take on Sky Blue and Julia Hart. So she's going to be playing around with the TBS title. Is that what we do with a Thunder Rosa after everything? Not important. Britt Baker, not important after being a women's champion. Unfortunately for, I can't think of what's her face right now, who was the force booking. Of course, it's always force booking because we're running out of time. Britt Baker's sidekick. I can't think of her name. She's been gone that long. Sadly, she's been gone that long and not really talked about, which is bad on Tony Khan's fault for not trying to keep some of this stuff relevant. Anyways, she was briefly the champion, got injured. Not important. Saraya won the champion at All In this year. Lost it to who'd she lose it to? Tony Storm just beat her. Gosh, I can't even. Sheeta. And Saraya lost it to Sheeta and Sheeta. Yeah, Jamie Hayter. No longer important. Saraya. Not really important after having the women's championship. And we can go down the men. Is Jericho as important as he is since he lost the world title? Is Kenny Omega as important as he's lost the world title? Look where Hangman Adam Page has dropped after losing the world title. You win the world title and you just collapse. You don't have any hold in the booking. Everybody feels flat. And this is Tony Khan's booking. So, I mean, it's like, cool. I mean, you lose a title, you just kind of lose everything. Not impressive. So we're going to get Riho versus Tony Storm. Eventually, this is probably going to lean into Tony Storm taking on Mariah May. So that's the future, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are at the top of the ramp. It's Tony Schiavone has a statement from Christian Cage, and he reads word for word saying for the crowd to sit down and shut up while Tony Khan conducts business for Christian Cage. He says he is sure his absence hurts. After his career-defining victory over Adam, he has taken Wayne on a vacation. He understands Adam has challenged him, and he will make his return this Saturday, where he will address the challenge. He expects nothing less than a hero's welcome. So we're going to get Christian Cage answering. Yeah. We're going to get Christian Cage answering Adam Copeland's challenge for the TNT title. And, so yeah. Whoopee. Freaking do. Don't really care anymore. Hi. From there, we're backstage. MJF and Joe are arguing some more. MJF walks away and sees a ski mask on the floor, and Knox sits in front of the door of the Mogul Embassy, knocks on the door. Out walks Nana. MJF grabs Nana and slams him against the wall. Swerve opens the door and comes out and says, "Don't mess with my property." I didn't know Nana was Swerve's property, but hey. Anyways, we talk about Regal and MJF. MJF does his little mockery. Swerve talks about the last man that talked badly about him being hung over the ropes in front of 13,000 people, which was supposed to be impressive. MJF tells him to check his stone, watch his mouth, and take out those hand-me-down Flavor Flav grills when you're talking to me. He hates Hangman, wants to be champ, so let's put it all together. The MJF saying that Swerve hates Hangman, so that's why they would jump Hangman. Swerve wants to be world champion, so why wouldn't he be the devil? This sets up basically Swerve Nana opening the door, and the rest of Mogul Embassy ready to jump MJF. Out comes Samoa Joe from a door. He pulls and says they got business elsewhere. Prince Nana says he needs to put Swerve on about Collision last week. I don't know. Anyways, we got a weird moment with Nana talking about Collision with Swerve, and MJF walks to a door that Joe came out of, and Joe walks off. Weird segment. It's nice to see Swerve and MJF come face to face. Hopefully this will be a world title match in the future if MJF doesn't lose the belt at World's End to Samoa Joe. Because technically, based on what MJF says, his contract's up January 1st. So he's kind of, is he going to drop the title on the 30th to leave it all hanging out there to see if the bidding war of 2024 is actually going to happen? If he keeps the title, then we have to assume that he's still part of the company for a while longer. how's that all going to work out? How's that all going to play out? We're going to have to wait and see. That's the only interesting thing about World's End that could play out here. Next strong, be next strong. We got Roderick Strong versus Commander in the next match. And it was a match to fill time. Strong flips Commander up for a suplex and releases, letting Commander land firmly on his knees. And we get a pin by Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong over Commander. It was a decent match between these two. It was 9 minutes, 55 seconds. It was a mid-match. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just a match. And it doesn't... They're giving Roderick Strong matches, but I don't know what they're doing with it. Commander's just there to eat some losses, so that's cool. Renee is now out here, and Renee asks Strong after the match what he's trying to accomplish as the Kingdom hands out flyers saying MJF is the devil. Strong screams Renee, screams Joe. It's obvious that Max is the devil. Hangman mentions MJF, and he gets taken out. He calls Renee crazy and then calls Joe his best friend by proxy. Yay. We're continuing this crazy story. I think you have Adam Cole working with the Kingdom as the devil here. I think that's what we're going to get. Joe may be involved with it all. Joe may be setting it all up with Adam Cole. Since Adam Cole's hurt, this may be how Joe's going to win the world title. And there you go. Joe, Adam Hangman Page, the whole group working together until Adam Cole can get back into the ring. Exciting stuff. I know. From there, we get Jim Ross is here. Yes, Jim Ross is finally back. He's here for the main event match. And we have Switchblade Jay White versus Jon Moxley. And if Moxley wins, then he goes into the semifinal match against Swerve. If Jay White wins, then Jay White gets to be spoiler, and it would tie everything up between Jay White, Swerve Strickland, and Jon Moxley. So what we get here is a good, solid match. We get another big lariat by John, another stomp. John grabs Jay, double underhook, flips up. Jay lands on his feet. We get a Blade Runner 1, 2, 3 out of nowhere. A good, solid match between these two guys, Jay White and Jon Moxley. It went 15 minutes, 12 seconds. And Jay White wins, tying up the standings, which means now, next week, in a semifinal match, because we need a semifinal match after a tournament. And because Swerve beat Jay and Moxley beat Swerve, and Jay beats Moxley, nobody has a clear tiebreaker, so we're going to get a triple threat match, which is probably the better of the two. I didn't want to see just John and Swerve again one-on-one. We've seen this in this tournament. It was a waste of a match that you could add on a pay-per-view, but you burn it in this tournament. And I was like, good, if we're going to have semifinals, I don't really want to see Swerve and Jon Moxley do it again right now. So at least we're throwing Jay White in there. We're throwing up some different options. I don't know if Jay looked good. He was a good match. It was a good match. Jay White doing what he does. He's not Jay White that you would expect. If you're a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, this is not the Jay White that you know from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So at least next week we're going to get a triple threat. It'll be something a little bit different in this. We still wait for the Blue League tournament. That'll be concluding on Collision, and then we'll know who will be facing each other next week on Collision in the semifinals. Both the winners of the semifinals will go into World's End to have the final match. Winner becoming the Continental Champion, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Open Champion, and the Ring of Honor World Champion. Yes. So Eddie Kingston still has a chance to be alive. Bryan Danielson's in there. Andrade Alilo's still alive. And I think Bertie King is the fourth man. So we may wind up with a three-way dance there. We may wind up with a four-way dance there. Or we may have Bryan and Andrade run it back one more time. So it'll get real interesting as we go to next week into the semifinal tournament. Overall, Dynamite was Dynamite. It was an average Dynamite. Nothing spectacular. They focus more on the wrestling. The wrestling's decent. If you like the in-ring work, it's good. just kind of tired of the devil gimmicks because it's like weird how they jump in this thing instead of. I mean, I don't know why you had 7 other guys dressed in ski masks come down to distract, and then you had the real devil, and then you go black, and then they go disappear, and then you just have a message. So why not just black out the arena and do the devil on the screen? I don't know. Don't know why Roderick Strong and Commander were here. It's kind of a show. We had to have a 5-minute overrun, which Tony Khan announced pre-show. I'm like, why can't you just book your show in the time limit given? Why do you need 5 more minutes other than it gives them a rating boost? In the end, it's just stupid to me. You're not WCW. You don't need the run over time. You're not competing against anybody. You know, that back in the day when WCW Monday Night Nitro went over time or added 5-10 minutes to their card to run over, it was because they were going head to head or they were intersecting depending with WWE, and it worked. Here the AEW is not competing against anybody, so 5 extra minutes doesn't really mean anything. It just means Tony Khan can't book his card in that time and wants 5 more minutes, and the 5 more minutes really doesn't do anything. It's I don't know, it hurts my head. Why do we need 5 extra minutes? Every week it seems now this is the big kicker. Oh, I need 5 more minutes. We're going to get 5 minutes overrun. It's a waste. It's not important. It's not needed. It's not even necessary for all that. Why? I wish somebody would explain that. It really needs to be explained to me why you need 5 extra minutes, Tony. I mean, there's no reason to have 5 extra minutes. I mean, book your matches, book your card in a time frame, and you'll be good. But no, let's have 5 extra minutes to a show for no reason. That's already kind of mid. You think it's great. You think you're not doing anything wrong. And I wish you were doing, great. And I hope AEW does great. But I don't think you're growing your viewers. You're not moving numbers. So your show can't be that great because you're not drawing in the audience. Now, last week you were number 2 to Raw in the weekly cable shows. And that's awesome. But, Tony. Hi, okay. Cat here. Hi, kitty. Anyways, it's AEW Dynamite. I don't know what to expect. We know SmackDown's coming up on Friday. Hopefully that'll be a better thing. We'll see what they're going to do on SmackDown. We're continuing to build into Royal Rumble. We'll also be building into SmackDown's New Year's Revolution. So, of course, this is a taped SmackDown. We're going to get some interesting stuff out of that. If you already read the spoilers, congratulations. If you haven't, okay, that's good. But we'll still do an review after SmackDown, or at least I will be here. I may have a partner in crime to cover SmackDown. We will see what's going on at that time. But this is AEW Dynamite, and sadly, there's not a lot to say about it. It was a simple show to get the simple thing done. They're not booking extra matches. They're not really building anything else for World's End. We got a tag team match that's kind of, who knows what's going to happen. Are they going to replace Kenny Omega with somebody? Are they going to cancel the match altogether? We know the women's title's on there. So technically right now we have 4 matches, or 3, depending on how things play out. We know that the world title, MJF versus Samoa Joe. We know the winner of the Continental Classic, Blue League versus Gold League. We know the women's title is going to be on the line as Timeless Tony Storm takes on Riho. And the tag team titles, Ricky Starks, Big Bill, supposedly against Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega's out, so will Jericho find a mystery opponent to do this? Will they hold this off? Are they going to cancel this match? They really didn't tell us any of that to distinguish what's going on there. So we may have 3 matches booked on the card for sure, a 4th match maybe, and then I guess we're going to get a bunch of other stuff thrown at us next week. And I guess we'll get Adam Copeland and Christian coming up on Collision for World's End, because, we need to see that one again. You burnt it on live TV instead of saving it for a pay-per-view, and now you're going to run it back on a pay-per-view. I don't know. We'll see how Collision plays. Otherwise, this was another show for Dynamite. Mid, not horrible, not great. Just is. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and thank you for joining me. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Drop your comments. And if you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this later, you're always feel free to comment. Hit the subscribe button. Ring that bell for notification. Become part of the Value Wrestling family by hitting that subscribe button. Yes, I know. But this is it. I don't have a whole lot to say. It's a one-man show. We reviewed it. It's not hilarious. There's nothing really to get into. There was nothing to get into depth to. It was simple, paint by the numbers. Wrestling tonight. Good matches. The rest of it's all just kind of blah. So, if you enjoyed the show, that's great. If you didn't, then I understand. You can always vote in the poll that's in the chat. And let your voice be heard. But we're going to get out of here. We're going to call it a night. And so, until next time, make sure you hit, until next time. Yeah, until the next one. There we go. We will see you on the next one. And I will be here live with your SmackDown review on Friday.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.